you remember how many projects you might have had out then? I remember 1212. I think maybe 111 might have been out.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
And
you put out 1212
222.
again.
Mm-hmm.
You were doing times at a certain point in time. But I
Yeah.
don't remember Shell necessarily being on any of those projects.
No, I think Shell came out on 222. I did 12, 12, 11.
222.
Did I do 12? I did 12, 12, 111, and 222 because those were the only. You got 12, 12 in the afternoon, and then you got 12, 12 on the calendar. Same with 111, and the same with 222. And then after that, I couldn't find no more numbers that had a on the clock and on the month, so it ain't work. But then the covers came from Snapchat. I said, shit, if I got to put out music, if I got to have a cover, I just want it to be anything with the number big as hell in the middle. It just looked like a Snapchat pic back then. So that's where that came from. And I wanted it simple. I wanted a simple background.
So this is, what, 2015, 2016?
Yeah. Yep.
Did you have a vision for your career at this point in time, or was this sort of a hobby at that point in time?
Probably since I went to Guitar Center and got that equipment, music has been the only thing to do. You know, I never really looked at it like a career or nothing like that. But I mean, it's actually nothing else to do for me, unless I'm messing with a car or something. But
Building a pond.
yeah, or building a pond.
All right, so I'm sorry. I think that's the coolest story. I'm sorry.
Say building a
and then
pond
now
is
that I hear that
crazy,
you took the pond down several times and put it back up, that's even
Yeah.
better. I didn't know that one. All right, so now you and Andrew are working together, and what happens? What happens next?
Really, he just guided me, like as far as just making sure that I worry about making the music, and like if that's what I want to do, then we really just focus on that. It makes life real easy on that. Also, a lot of features. Some features, like a lot of the features, sometimes he may guide me and tell me, look, this person reached out, or this person reached out this way. This will be a good look. That'll be a good look. So without him, I wouldn't know a lot. Kind of half of the stuff, I'd just be in my own world about making music, But after our conversation, people had been, wanting me to take it like maybe not be independent, maybe do a label thing or something like that. So everything went well after that.
Yeah, I think you did go in the label direction in a major way.
Mm-hmm.
So right after, well, let me ask you this: do you remember the first time you met John Monopoly?
Yeah.
John actually asked me to ask you that.
Mm-hmm.
John was like, "Ask him this one."
Yeah.
So, what do you remember about that? And what do you remember by that?
Well,
about that moment.
John Monopoly, I got a funny story. John Monopoly actually probably don't even know he showed me how to roll up. Like, I watched him roll some weed one day, and it was just interesting how he was doing it. And so every time I roll up every day, it's really his fault that the blunt's so perfect. I watched the man roll up like back to back in front of me, but this is another story. But John is even in LA, like John makes sure I'm straight and everything. We done had what do we have? We had a label dinner before. We done had some stuff.
Yeah, I think one story that I remember. This might be one of the first times that I remember seeing you out there, because I do remember this. You were performing at a Pitchfork, and I think it was a Pitchfork event, like a Pitchfork weekend is the Pitchfork festival. You're performing there, and you had your dog in your book bag.
Yeah.
And that went super viral.
Yeah. That was on accident. The dog in the book bag thing. Yeah.
I mean, you have a dog with you now.
Yeah. I got a lot of dogs. They all little. Yeah.
Right.
I got a lot of little
So how
dogs.
was it? So what was you had your book bag? You didn't trust nobody else to hold your dog while you rocked, or how that accident happened so perfectly?
Well, all right. So I think I had got there. I got there like not too quick, not too soon before it was time for me to perform, and ended up really not having enough time to do really anything. So kind of got like rushed on the stage, and yeah. And before you know it, I was done performing, but I actually forgot that I had the damn dog and the book bag, and I just yeah. I think that's the only performance I ever did with a and like a white beater too. So I probably went in there real quick and just hit the liquor and then got on stage and forgot I had the dog with me. hmm
You have a pattern of happy accidents, as you describe it.
Yeah, I just be going with the flow. Shit just be coming up the way it's supposed to be happening. You know.
So after that, you guys go to LA not too long after that, and now you're officially talking to Good Music. Is that correct? Is that fair to say?
Yeah. hmm
Do you remember your first trip out there to talk to the people at the label at Good Music? What was that like for you?
It was nice. Um, because you got to remember too. We had went and I talked to quite a few people that reached out, and I just wanted to hear and listen to what people had to say and how beneficial it would be, and things like that. So I liked I liked what they had going on, or the fact that I had my own lane over there, you know.
What do you mean by that? What stood out for what they said versus the other people you're talking to? Your own lane, like well, if you could add some color. I'm not quite sure what that means.
Okay, like if you want to be an artist or whatever it is you want to do, it's like with that label, I felt like they got a great classroom of people that's artists, and I feel like everybody do their own paintings, their own art, and whatever it is that I'm talking about or got to bring to the table, I see my own area for that basically already. Like I don't have to worry about joining a label or something like that, and then accidentally. Because I only give a fuck about making songs, so I don't have to worry about joining a label or being somewhere and accidentally being too good or something like that. And then if somebody already big or popping, how do I know I'm finna go back to Chicago and then they not finna use that while I'm asleep? So I just feel like I could do my thing over here. I ain't got to worry about nothing.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting that because you earlier you mentioned getting advised to go in a label direction.
hmm
You've got all these labels that you've been talking to now. I mean, I understand better now what you mean by letting you do your own thing, but that is prime time creativity. I mean,
hmm
especially that era, right? It's Ye, it's Steve Rifkin, it's Che Pope, it's John Monopoly, it's
hmm
Plain Pat. You know what I mean? These are the curators of the past 25 years almost.
Yeah,
Did you feel at home sitting down talking to them?
definitely. The biggest thing too was the fact that when I used to record and make beats a long time ago, my friend who stayed next door to me, he was very into making beats, but all he did was he sampled and sampled. So I learned a lot about old music and old musicians, any old groups, the Spinners, the Four Tops, all kind of stuff I never even heard about. Janis Joplin. So my next door neighbor taught me all that, but his idol was Kanye. That's all he cared about is how Kanye produced and how raw Kanye is. So that was crazy to even experience that. from my next door neighbor before I was even really into doing music. So that's a big thing to reach out, for Ye and Good Music to reach out. That was a big thing.
Yeah, look at that. Another happy accident. It's all happening.